There's a full PA system in my anus and a sound man.
You just hear a muffled 1 2 1 2.
The sound man in my anus sounds like a Bowie song.
Oh, there's a sound man
Living in my bum.
He'd like to do a sound check, but I've really got the runs.
Hello there, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Football Manager Therapy. I am your host, Rich Owens. Joining me today, it's the bloody twins again. We've got D-Boy Plays, we've got Steakety Bakety. D, how are you, dear?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Good. Thanks, everybody.
I feel like I really overacted during that intro, and I took a little bit out of me.
That's
So I
fair.
had to just level it down. I'm doing
It's all about
right.
balance.
It is all
Somewhere in the
about
middle.
balance.
Somewhere in the middle now, isn't it? Somewhere in the middle. Yeah. Good.
I'll peter out. I'll peter out the emotions mid podcast, and we'll find a middle ground, and we'll be fine.
Absolutely. We've got time to do it. We'll work it out.
Hope
Okay,
so.
by about the 40-minute mark, I think we'll be in our stride. Until then, quite
I reckon
temperamental.
so.
Peaks and troughs.
How are you, Rich?
I'm really tired, D. I'm very, very tired. I went out last night for my wife's birthday party, and I can't go out past 10, let alone stay out to the ungodly hour we stayed out to last night. So I'm very much feeling my age today. That's where I am. All 32 years. I'm 40. Sorry, everybody. You couldn't see me wink there. If you're listening to the audio version, I winked to the camera as if to imply that we all know I'm not 32. I am, in fact, 40. Steak, you're not 40. How are you, buddy?
I am very good, thank you, and all of my limbs work perfectly. Thanks for
Hooray.
asking. They
I
don't,
remember
by the way.
that. I remember things just not generally hurting.
Oh, mine definitely do. I've definitely got early onset 40, if that helps to make you feel included. You know, yeah. I mean, I am 31 this week, so... But,
Wow.
you know,
Wow.
it's just a day, innit, really? At this point, once you get
Yeah.
past 21, in fact, once you get past 30, I'll give 30 a bit of credit. Yeah, it's just a day. It's just a
They're just
day.
days, aren't they?
Exactly.
Just one day closer to death.
That's the spirit, Jam. That's the spirit.
we
Welcome, on behalf of all of us, Stakey, to The Decline. It's great. And if it's fast, my goodness gracious me, it's
And
fast.
it's all downhill, so there's less strain on the knees, which is nice.
Absolutely.
That is good. Because
If you were
God, they
young
hurt.
enough, if you're young enough to skateboard, it'd be brilliant. But you're not anymore. You're far too old. Sorry.
Can I early tangent us?
Please.
Oh, yes.
So when I was younger, I really wanted to learn how to ride a skateboard. But I was also, and still am, a coward and was worried I would fall off said skateboard. So my mum bought me and my brother skateboards, and whilst he was learning how to stand on it like a grown-up, I just sat on mine. I just sat on mine, and I think also we did a lot of, because where we lived we had like a little hill, so I did a lot of like lying down on the skateboard and roll down the hill. But I did know, but standing on it wasn't an option because I could have fallen off and that would have hurt.
You were like, I'd much rather do luge.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
more fun.
that was really what I was hoping for. I was really hoping to really get into the Winter Olympics, but there wasn't much of that in the Midlands, so
Yeah.
just skateboard. And
It was the spandex you were wearing at the same time, though, just for aerodynamics. That's what
Yeah.
really sold it.
yeah,
That's
that's what I had that first. I got the skateboard for Christmas to sort of, well done for the,
Offset that, yeah.
just sort of make a bit more sense.
Yeah.
When your parents went for the full bobsleigh, they kind of, it was a a bit much, wasn't it?
It's a nightmare, especially when we moved to Devon. Oh, goodness me. You can't do anything with you can't use a bobsleigh in the middle of a countryside. It's not hilly enough.
No.
Let down.
And if it is, there's trees. Mm-hmm. Was that a good segue?
I think they... That's what they need in the Winter Olympics. to make it more exciting, because they're starting soon. I think this month now, February of this year, the Winter Olympics. Obstacles on the bobsled track and the luge.
Yeah.
Because it's just going downhill, isn't it? Really,
Yeah,
when you
pretty
think
much.
about it, just gravity. That's all the bobsled and the luge and all that is. It's just going down something. A bit fast, granted, but you're going down it. Obstacles in the way. A tree, as a throwback to your childhood.
Yeah. Neighbour walking a dog.
Exactly. A pit like on Robot Wars.
Yes.
Yes. Actually, the
Sergeant Bash.
house robots from Robot Wars. Yes, that's what you need.
I think bring them into all Olympic sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100-meter run being chased by Sakil a lot. I think that would really liven things up a bit. Maybe improve on times.
Oh, absolutely. You put Matilda in the long jump pit.
Dressage is just the horses dodging the various saws coming across the floor.
Robot Wars robots in all horse-based Olympic stuff, please. That's how to liven them up.
And when they're doing the floor activities, they've got like the catapults in the floor built in. So if you land in the wrong bit, you get flung out of the arena.
Yes.
And hurdle number 4 is just shunt.
Oh, good. Oh, lovely stuff. Call us, Olympic Committee, if you're listening. Of course you're listening. We've got ideas, and we're going to take the Olympics in crazy new directions. Trust us, we can make this work. Until we get that phone call, though, fellas, we should probably do some uncharacteristic FM chat.
What?
On a podcast. I know, on a podcast.
Again?
Again,
We did a little bit last week, and
We
you're
did a little
coming
bit.
back to me this week, and you're saying we're doing like 40 minutes at least of it this week.
More.
Ridiculous, Rich.
I know. I'm so sorry, Stakey. So
That
this
does
isn't
feel excessive.
This isn't what I promised you when you came back, Steak, and I'm sorry. I've lulled you in with lies, and I apologise for that. But what I'd like to talk about this week, fellas, if it's okay with the two of you, what I'd like to talk about this week, we say this on the podcast quite frequently, on the rare occasions we do talk about Football Manager, because, you know, everybody plays the game differently. And we always say here at FMT, there's no right or wrong way of playing Football Manager. If you are enjoying the game, if you are enjoying how you play the game, then you're playing it correctly. For what is mostly a single-player experience, you can do what you like, and if you're having fun, well done you. That's all okay. Do you know who would disagree with us on that? Quite a lot of people on the internet, shockingly enough. They tend to have broader and angrier opinions on the way that people play Football Manager. Don't know if you're aware of the website called Reddit, but my goodness gracious me, they get very cross over there. They do. Inspired by angry people on the internet, lads, we're gonna play a little game this week, I suppose. I have constructed a list of 10 Football Manager faux pas. Well done, me. Thanks, everyone. I've got 10 FM faux pas, and what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to read them out one by one, and you, Stakey and Dee, collectively, are going to blind rank them. So there are 10 of them, and you're going to blind rank these 10 FM faux pas, and at the end, we're going to have the comprehensive FMT FM faux pas list. How do you both feel about that?
Sounds fun.
I like it. Is number 1 the worst of the
Yes,
the
number
faux
1
pas?
is the worst of the worst. Number 10 is the most
Least
inoffensive.
of the worst.
Yes.
Okay.
The least baddest, to use the
Least
correct word.
baddest. Yeah.
Yes. So we got 10 of them. Obviously, we can dive into them a little bit as we're going through them. But number 1 on the list, and we'll dive straight in. This is just, there's no particular order to these, but there will be an order once you have blind ranked them. The first faux pas I'm going to pitch to you both. Downloading tactics on Football Manager. Where do we think? Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being it's the worst thing you can possibly do in the game, 10 being who cares? Downloading tactics. Now, I'm including this in the broader sense, so in terms of any aspect of Football Manager, so PvE, PvP, back in the day in the drafts, you name it, downloading tactics. Lads, over to you. How do you feel about the concept of a little tactical download?
It's a difficult one, that one, straight off the bat, because you don't know what else is going to come around. Because my initial reaction was, oh, wow, that's pretty bad. But now I'm thinking of other things that could appear that I might consider to be worse. I certainly think it does spoil the fun of the game a little bit. But on the other hand, there's a lot of people that do it. Tactic videos are insanely popular. Leaving download links after you've done a tactic video is standard practice. Most people have a go with them, see how much they can do with them. And so it's definitely a big side of Football Manager players that will have done this. But then you added the little, but it also includes PvE stuff, PvP stuff. And then that made it much worse for me, because I am a firm believer in your tactic should be your own if you're competing. Admittedly, most of the drafts I've ever been in have always been prizeless, shall we say. It's just been reputation and thumbs up from people and places in a ranking system that was posted on Twitter a few times. Like, it's never really rewarded you with much other than that. I suppose a platform. I mean, I'm here now, so clearly I'm only here because of my playoff win. Surely.
Oh, 100%.
That's the only reason
100%. Yeah, no.
Eye candy.
Yeah,
We
no,
needed
and
some
that,
eye
of
candy
course,
for the pod.
of course.
Yeah, helps that you're
Naturally,
really fit.
some
Goes a long way.
youthful freckles. So I'm leaning towards quite bad on this one straight away, Dan. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, it's the range in which it would be used. I think someone using a downloaded tactic in their own offline save for either an experimental purpose or because you're brand new to the game, I'm absolutely fine with. Absolutely fine with. Like, it's as long as you. Again, I would also add, as long as it's something for you to try and learn something from, that you're not just like, oh, I'll just download this tactic and then that's it, and now hopefully I can just win. I'll even throw this out there. Before streaming, I have downloaded tactics before. Again, purely to be like, let's see what this can do. Let's just see if this can help me out. Newsflash, downloaded tactics don't just work. They need to be with the right players and the right team. You cannot take a tactic that might have been unbeaten for. I did a simulation with this with Barcelona and I won every single game, Champions League and the Copa del Rey. Brilliant. It'll work great for my Boreham Wood save. No, it won't work for that. But I have no qualms with people doing that. If it was like, I think if you were someone that was streaming, like if Rich, if like you say, just say I popped in to come and enjoy a little bit of, the Rotterdam or Anywhere save, the beautiful South journey, and you were like, oh yeah, I've just downloaded this tactic off Sort It Out SI. I'd be like, well, dude, what are you doing? Like, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You can work this out. You can come up with something. You can even have committee with chat to come up with things. But you're absolutely right. In player v player, I think it would be if you used a downloaded tactic and then you won the whole thing, and then someone went, wait a minute, you're using insert person who makes tactics online, one of their tactics, someone like Murph, if you're using one of Murph's tactics, you'd be like, huh, and you've won this whole thing, so you've cheated then because you didn't come up with this on your own. I think it's like taking all of that in. I mean, have you got a number in your mind already, Stakey?
Yes, and you kind of held it up there on camera. I was roughly where I was thinking, actually.
I was thinking 3.
Between 2 and 4 was my thoughts. Rather helpfully. I think that's probably where I would put it, because there's definitely circumstances, like you say, where it's fine. And I also don't mind you downloading a tactic and using it as a base that you then adapt for your team, which I've definitely done. I've definitely done that before, where it's been like, oh, okay, well, it's got the set pieces done for me, and, this role on right backs is really good in this formation. So, okay, well, I don't have a good centre mid, so I'll move the centre mid there. My strikers, I want two of them, and I also don't need a right winger if I've got this amazing right back. So it's all about adaptation, isn't it? And I think
I'd even go to say that in the game, especially the last two or three, it kind of has a bit like pre-built tactics in there. You select Gegenpress. Cool, you're now doing a Gegenpress thing. Oh, I want a wing play. It's there, tiki-taka. So it's not somebody else who set the custom commands. It's already kind of set up in the game. Like, if you want that style of play, it's in there. So downloading tactics nowadays, outside of educational purposes, I will say in sort of inverted commas, I kind of feels controversial. I think it's moot. But yeah, I'd agree with you. Third, I would say, feels...
Yeah, I think
leaving a little bit of wiggle room for in case something really heinous comes up.
Yeah, yeah. So we're going to lock in 3, I think, for downloading tactics.
Okay.
I could definitely see it a little bit of regret with it maybe not being 2 later on, if nothing too heinous comes up. But I think 3 is a good base point because it's definitely one of the more wrong things to do. It's not wrong, it's just it kind of spoils your fun, doesn't it, really? It's kind of the point of the whole game.
Yeah, you're not learning how to do the test. I can understand like delegating stuff in the game, like training or media stuff. Like, I'm not interested in doing that, but surely you're playing a football manager game to make a tactic and win things, not I'm going to manage this team and get someone else to win it for me, because you might as well not be at the team.
Yeah,
sure. Okay, fair enough, lads. You know what? I really like your thought process. I think I agree with a lot of your points as well. I think I very specifically, as I was giving the explanation, mentioned the PvP element of it because, it's back in the day, the FM, from kind of all the way through from 22 to 24, things like the playoffs, path to the playoffs, a lot of the bigger draft competitions that used to be around. I remember at one point Clates had come up with that ridiculous 3-striker system that just won. And if you used it and you had the right strikers with the key attributes, you just won every game. And it kind of almost just sucked the fun a little bit. So I think third place, I see where you're coming from. And I'm going to nod my head in solemn agreement with you both. I think that's it. I think that's fair. Are you ready for your second? Thing number 2.
Yeah.
FM Faux Pas number 2. Right. How do you both feel about holidaying / instant resulting all of your fixtures instead of managing the game yourself? So...
I have thoughts on this one.
Okay.
I have...
Sure.
I will say what I have a balanced thought on this. Because, again, I do think there is context behind it. You can have a general thought to the whole thing, but contextually, I think there is something that matters. If you were a live streamer and you just instant resulted all the games, didn't actually manage anything, because we know that the instant result button can be a little bit overpowered and can definitely be in your favor. And then if you instant resulted a game and then holidayed to the next game, instant resulted, holidayed, instant resulted, holidayed, why are you even live? What are you broadcasting? What are you showing to people, right? In that circumstance, it's like you're not playing Football Manager. You're a Just Chatting stream. Just make it Just Chatting, right? And FM is basically Just Chatting anyway, with something that's just slightly pretty to look at. Offline, though, kind of don't hate it. I kind of don't really like if someone's like, I'll give you examples from my life where I have definitely used instant result. FM24, I instant resulted every Champions League game on my main save because I didn't care about the Champions League. I did win 3, but I didn't... I played finals. If we made it to a final, I played a final. But I didn't care about it. It had nothing to do with the story of my save. So I just fast-forwarded it. It was irrelevant. It meant nothing to the what I was aiming for. I've got an offline save at the moment. If I win the league, I instant result the rest of the season because there's nothing else to play for. And if you're out of all cup competitions, and I've done that on stream actually recently, I got to the end. I think I might have been in Switzerland, when we won the season with young boys by like 34 points. We'd won it with like 8 or 9 games to go. So it's just like, well, yeah, like we're in the Conference League. That matters to see what we do in that. The cup matters because if we can win that, cool. But the league is relevant. Sure, we'll fast forward through this. So I'm not against the use of the instant result button. I think it can be very useful if you kind of like sort of speed up bits of a season. I'm fine with it. My first thoughts going into this, I would probably put this at around 7 or 8. But
Interesting.
I want to hear your thoughts, Stakey.
This is going to be the first one that we disagree on.
Okay.
I think that certainly in offline saves, and they're part of the enjoyment is things like putting youth players through your team and working them to become better players. The end of the season when you've already won the league is the perfect opportunity to do that. Bed a new youth player in, things like that. Trying to break records, certainly on FM 24 when there was a bit more flair to some of the things that you could do, like some of the records broken and some of the screens that you would see that are not quite in the game or may have just been added to the game. I played too much FM 26, I'm sorry. But yeah, I love the idea of really trying to make a striker beat the goal scoring record in the league, or really, really trying to beat the number of assist record or the number of wins, or trying to go invincible, those kind of things. I love those targets. And that is the part of the offline save that I really enjoy, that keeps me playing. I've just loaded up my FM 24 save just to kind of see how long I've holidayed for, and I have not holidayed at all. None. Zero. It's 54 days of in-game play. 30,
Holidaying, I think,
seasons.
differently. I don't holiday through anything.
Right.
I want to check things. I want to see player progress. I want to keep an eye on those things. I'm talking like if I've won because I've the offline save. I've won the National League South or North with like 4 games to go in season 2. I'm like, cool, just get it done. Like I'm not bothered. Right. That's the scenario I'm talking about with an offline. But please carry on.
Yeah, and then equally in a online setting, I completely agree with what you said about it being what's the point? Like you're there to showcase things that are happening in the game. We want to see everything you do, unless you've got 2 games left of the season and the season's already over. You might as well continue. What was the actual wording of the thing we're ranking? Was it specifically holidaying, or was it
holidaying / instant resulting your fixtures instead of playing them yourself?
Okay, I have less of a problem with instant resulting games that don't matter. I have more of a problem with holidaying through the game. I guess one of the complaints about FM 26 is that it kind of feels like you're just skipping game to game a little bit, and there's not as much immersion in the week between games. So I guess if you find FM 26 more difficult to get your hands on and get into that nitty gritty, then I completely understand that you just click through and not really paying attention, and therefore you just holiday into the next game pretty much. On previous iterations, I have more of a problem with it. For me, this is like probably a 3 or a 4 for me, but we've already used 3. So did you want to go in the middle and go 5 or 6?
Should we go 6? Should we go mid-table?
Okay.
6 for instant results, just because I think it's kind of, there's so many broader reasons as to why I think you would do them.
Yes.
I think mid-table's fine, because it's like some scenarios, like we say, it's inoffensive. It doesn't matter. And then sometimes it's like, whoa, what are you doing? You can't instant result through this stuff. This matters.
Yeah. What I will say is, if you instant result / holiday through an entire season, those accomplishments are not yours. You didn't do it. The game did it. The assistant manager did it. And sometimes the game acknowledges that and gives those titles to your assistant manager. But with the instant result button that's now in the game as standard, I don't know if it still does.
I believe it counts to you.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say that you've not managed that game, and that's your assistant manager that's done that, and you shouldn't take any
100%
pride in that.
Shouldn't count towards your win ratio.
No,
I don't believe it should.
Exactly.
So and if it has counted to mine, I'm like, oh, well, you can't change that, but I don't believe it should be part of my 145% win percentage.
It's nice to have a cushion, though, isn't it?
Is great.
Nice to have a cushion. You can lose up to 70 games and still have a 100% win record. I think that's interesting, actually. I like where you've both come at this from. When I was writing this one down, I instantly thought of UD because I thought of that invincible Galatasaray season that you had, where you won everything. You didn't lose a single game in all competitions, but you didn't play the Champions League because it didn't matter within the context of your save. Mm-hmm. And I think that's absolutely fine. If you were saying my ambition here is to win the Champions League with Galatasaray, and I'm going to simulate every game until I get to the final, then it's you've not won the Champions League with Galatasaray.
Yeah. If I was trying to win it, I would have played every game, and we would have lost some of them, and I wouldn't have had an invincible season.
Exactly that. I think quite a lot about. Again, I love you, Clates, and we're not trying to throw you under the bus at all here, because we've mentioned your very, very, very good tactic for PvP for the last one. The way that he phrased that he used to do the director of football saves. That's a different spin on it, and that I'm really, really into, because that is you are actively leaving the management of the games to your assistant manager, and you're just doing all the behind the scenes stuff. That's fair enough. I get that, but I think I agree with you both. In as much as I think if you don't play the game, I think the accolades that you get from success with your team aren't really yours. So I can understand where you're both coming from. But we've gone for number 6. I can respect it. So we've got a 3, we've got a 6. Here's number 3 on my list for you both. Hello now. Something that D is very familiar with because of previous saves, exploiting the in-game editor. So, and that can be very broad strokes. How much in-game editor use is kind of okay in the context of and I'm using inverted commas here for the audio listeners, legitimate Football Manager save. In-game editor usage.
I'm glad you said that, because Holsworthy was not a legitimate save; it was a muck around on the internet.
It was a beautiful mess around, but it was a mess around nonetheless, and that's okay. So how do you feel in-game editor usage?
Have you ever used the in-game editor, Stakey?
I don't download it. I don't pay it. I don't buy it. Simply because I don't do it. Haven't used it for content before. And my only thought would be to use it for content. I've used the pre-game editor to make databases, to make teams, to make things like that several times before. In fact, I quite like looking in the back end. It's quite interesting to see base attributes and little things that the hidden ones that you don't really get to see, like temperament and things like that. That's quite fun. But I do not use the in-game editor and never would. I don't see the reason for it apart from to cheat. And for me, I have this thing where I could be the most into something I have ever been into. It could be all of my life, all of my mind taken up with it. And the second I cheat, I have no interest in it whatsoever. Minecraft, for example, if I was like, oh, this is taking me ages, let me just spawn in a diamond pickaxe. As soon as I do it, I'm like, I don't care about this world anymore. Delete. I don't care. I don't want to play anymore. It's just loses all interest for me. If you're doing it on stream, then I can understand it. It helps for your save. Certainly, you specifically said a legitimate save, and I would say the only real excuse for it is if you do something wrong by accident that you want to rectify. For example, or the game does something wrong and you missed the message that said this person's contract is coming to an end, and they leave, or they're going to leave, so you trigger the extension that you missed, for example. I get that, because that's a mistake that would have ruined your enjoyment of progressing through the game because you've made a mistake. But it's such a small, tiny thing. I think this is really bad.
There's one other thing that I know that I would say I think it is also allowed. There are a couple of things I would say it's also allowed, and these are kind of, I feel like these are definitely more aligned with, again, content creation and doing those sorts of things. One is custom kits, because you can edit obviously the colors of a kit, and if you are, I'll use Holsworthy as the example. The first kits that I had, we were green and black stripes for our home kit, and then I think the away kit, I think I made it blue and white the first season, and I was like, cool, got my two colors. And then while I was making kits for it, I think like 3 seasons in, I was like, oh, I kind of want a pink third kit now. And being able to go, I'm changing the color of the away kit or the third kit, if you're managing a team and you want to, just add your own little unique thing on it, if you've made custom kits and you're doing that, totally valid. I'd also say, again, for creating content wise, I know a lot of streamers have things like the give players a nickname thing. Obviously, you can set a nickname, but you can make it a proper name by using the editor and can be like, cool, this player is now called Steak Bake, instead of Steak Bake and it being one name and it being clunky. It can actually be like a name. Absolutely fine with those things. Don't really like, that's absolutely fine. That's helping arguably make the world a little bit more immersive for yourself and for your audience. Great. And I'd even say those things are absolutely fine offline. And like you say, if like those tiny little, if you make a little error, or I would also even maybe throw in there something like, if you just signed a player and then they got like, like we've all seen it where like such and such player joins for your team, and then the next email, like 7 minutes later, they get an injury in training. If that injury was like 9 to 11 months with like a torn ACL, he's like, I've just spent 90 million on this guy. I'd be like, if you had the in-game editor and you wanted to take that injury away, I would not be angry at you, or at least reduce how long the injury was. Be like, right, he's out, fine, he can be out for a month or something like that, just so you don't be like, I've just spent loads of money on this guy, now it's wasted. I think those things generally fine, but I think if you use the in-game editor and just do it to cheat, like, if you did go in there and go, right, I've got the in-game editor, I'm going to give all my players 20 in every single attribute, and I'm going to make my players the greatest players in the world. By the way, I am managing in the Welsh second tier. We're going to win everything. Everybody's going to be on £5 contracts, and they're going to be here for the rest of their lives. And we're going to make millions. Oh, look, a Champions League. Yeah, much like the instant result things, like you didn't earn that. You haven't earned those wins. So it's... Yeah. Have you got a number in mind? Because this one's difficult for me, number-wise.
You've dropped it down a little bit for me by mentioning the cosmetic side of the game, which I hadn't considered, because sometimes when you install your own kits... you then clash with other teams and things like that can't happen. And you can only do that in the in-game editor because although it puts the kit on your team, it doesn't change the matchups. So from that kind of perspective, I do get it. I like the naming thing. I personally think if your striker gets injured for 11 months the day after you sign him, that's part of the game. I mean, for me, if that then stops you playing the game, then change it. Because if it's literally ruining your fun, the whole point of Football Manager is to have fun. And with all of these, my pinch of salt for all of these is if you enjoy cheating for some of these,
or if you just any of these things gives you enjoyment,
do it by all means. I'm not here to completely tell you that you're terrible, but I did want it number 1. But for now, I'm dropping it to 2. I could maybe be persuaded to 4, but I think it's 2, personally.
I would maybe lean towards 4, but I'd be also happy with 2. But I feel like, this is also where 3 would be really
exactly. Can we just put them all in 3?
Yeah, could they all be 3? Is that all right?
They're all the third worst thing. Every last
we should have done this as a tier list, instead, like C, A, B, C instead of 1 to 10. But it's too late now.
I thought that I did consider it, but I thought it would be too easy.
Yeah. Fair.
What I will say is, I think it's worse than downloading tactics.
Okay.
I think because there are other areas of the game that mean that you could still enjoy Football Manager and play it fairly legitimately with a downloaded tactic.
Yeah,
you still have to make the transfers.
It's worse. It would be a worse thing to do than downloading.
So
tactics.
I think it is a 2.
Yeah,
I think
2.
It is.
Yeah, in-game editor.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and again, I think it's really interesting just to kind of almost sit back and listen to you guys discuss it, because you've both got different viewpoints, but I think again they're both valid, and I understand where you're both coming from.
Yeah.
Stakey, I think I really kind of resonated with what you said about when you start cheating, it just feels a bit rubbish, doesn't it? And you lose the fun. I did it. I don't think I've ever downloaded the editor since it's kind of become readily available, but I followed instructions on the internet back on FM 10 or 11 maybe on how to do it and get into all the back end stuff. And I did exactly that. I was like, would it be fun if I took Worcester City and I gave everybody 20 in every attribute, 200 PA and CA, locked them in on £5 contracts for the next 20 years and just see what happens. Let's have a go. And we won the first game 57-0. I went, oh, this is boring. I don't like this anymore.
Yeah.
This is rubbish. Yeah. I've seen big numbers as a scoreline, and now I'm completely numb to it, and then I never touched it again.
Yeah.
I've done the exact same thing with. It was pre-game editor. I made a team called AFC Greggs as part of my channel
branding,
and went through a couple of seasons. But the story that I told involved Greggs investing loads of money at the start in all the facilities. And so I had unbelievably good youth and training facilities for someone in the 7th tier of English football, 6th tier of English football. And the first youth intake came through and they're all championship standard. And it was like, I've signed this guy, and after 6 months, he's got a £14 million bid from Tottenham. And I only made it 2 seasons in, it completely ruined it. I was like, this is a mistake. If I'd done that in the in-game editor, that would have been even more of a mistake, I think. So
no, fair enough, fellas. Number 4 on the list, I've written down match engine exploitation. So to give an example of this, a few FMs ago, I don't know if you remember, one of the big exploits people discovered is that if you sent a goalkeeper up for set pieces, the opposition defenders never marked them. So if you had somebody like Costil Pantilimon in goal, or 6'8" or 6'9" of him, you were going to be scoring about 20 to 25 goals a season with him just from set pieces and corners. Exploiting, picking up and exploiting the match engine specifically. How do we feel about that? It's a bit of a faux pas.
Let you start on this one, Dan.
Exploiting the match engine. Does this also include like meta tactics stuff, or is that going to be a separate thing?
No, I know. I think that's part of it. Like again, I think FM 21 or 22. If you had central midfielders on attack, you just won because they were so good at everything,
right.
And that only worked because of the way the match engine worked. Like a CM on attack were incredible. Doesn't matter how bad the players were, they're just the role and the instructions carried them through games.
For things like abuse it, finding ways to sort of beat the match engine. There's a little bit of me that would argue that there's some element of the game where you are trying to do that anyway. But I would also throw in the caveat of you don't need to use exploits to get wins. I would, and this may come across a little smug, a little arrogant, but I'm going to throw it out there. I have done my best to avoid all exploits, bar maybe trying to sign a couple of big jumpy boys for corners, because that's set pieces. Mm-hmm. I've tried to avoid them at all costs this FM on FM 26. I've still won stuff. I haven't had to use any exploits. I haven't had to do anything in the game, in the match engine. If anything, the match engine gets on my nerves because I keep asking why my players don't tackle. When I'm literally, every instruction is kill. And they do nothing. And it's why are none of you just kick someone? And then today I get 2 games back to back with red cards, and you're like, all right, calm it down. Just chill out. Let's, I know I said kill him, but I didn't mean kill him. This feels maybe a little bit lower on the grand scheme of things for me. It's not something that, again, it's the sort of thing, the easiest way I think about it is if I was watching someone's streams or if I was watching someone's content on YouTube or whatever, and they'd done some little exploit of the match engine, and I found this really fun thing you can do in the match engine. It wouldn't make me go, "No, I'm out." I'd just be like, "All right, cool," and I would leave it at that, and that would just be like, "All right, do you want to try it?" Not really, but if you're having a fine, I'm not. It doesn't offend me in any way.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you. I think it's the context in which you use it.
Sure.
If you, for example, are using near post corners when everyone else is using near post corners in an FM draft tournament, everyone is using them. You'd be silly not to, because you will finish bottom, because it's 5 goals across the group stage that you're not going to get. If you are playing through yourself, I would encourage you not to use them if you don't have to. And it also depends how much you're breaking the game. If you're breaking the game by having a centre half get 45 goals in a season from a corner, that's breaking the game.
Yeah.
If you're having a centre half get 9 goals in a season, that's good tactics, in my opinion.
That's
and I
the
think
Tony
there is
Pulis way, I believe, is what they call it.
Yeah.
How
There is
dare
a
you.
line there, isn't there, between exploiting the match engine and finding a good tactic. And the point, as you say, the point of the game a little bit is finding a tactic that works for you, adapting it for your team, and making your team win games. Surely that's the point of the game on its surface level. So I'm leaning towards quite low on this one. I think it's fine. I mean, yeah, as I say, if you're winning the league invincible because you found a defensive tactic that, or equally, maybe if you haven't found the exploit and you've looked the exploit up online, that would push it higher up the list for me.
Yeah.
But if you found the exploit yourself, and it's not really an exploit, but you're playing 3 strikers, for example, and it just means that the defences are struggling to deal with you, and you've scored more goals than normal, then I wouldn't call that an exploit. I'd call that tactics.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line with this one. I'm leaning towards 9 or 8.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say 8 or 9, yeah.
I think simply
should we go
because, yeah, I was going to say, I think we should go 9 because I think there's going to be worse things on this list. But if you over abuse that and you're not doing it yourself and looking things up, then I would say you're probably higher on the list. But I'm not going to grudge you for it, really. It's kind of the point of the game.
Yeah.
Fair enough, lads. So we settled on a 9 for a bit of that. And I get where you're both coming from. I always liken it. There are 2 kind of things that in FM that always stand out in my head when I think about kind of the match engine. Back in the day, the very early days of the old TJ versus the community streams, where you just play PvP with Tony. He played Daljit,
Bust the Net.
and sorry.
Is that Bust the Net?
Bust the Net, yes. Played Bust the Net. And it was brilliant because not only TJ got battered by him, but it was incredible because every 20 to 30 in-game minutes, like, right, I'm now going to switch to a new system. And this is why it's going to work. I'm going to tell you now what's going to happen, and then it's going to happen, and then I'll explain to you why it happened. And it was fantastic. Suddenly there were like 4 treks, and you're like, oh, it was crazy. And then suddenly everyone dropped really, really deep, and it was like counter-attacking. And it's like, well, this is why. And he would score goals. It's like, right, this is why it worked. And he'd break it down and explain it bit by bit. It's like, this is what the match engine is trying to do with these players. This is what the match engine is trying to do with the defence. This is what the match engine is trying to do with the opposition attack. And it can't quite work out where everybody needs to be. So this is why it works. And you're thinking, that's really interesting because it's not just it almost to me that side of things goes back to a downloaded tactic. This works. This will score you 300 goals a season, and you just plug it in, and you've got a decent team, and it scores you 300 goals, and you go, oh, okay, well that's cool. But it's the why. It's the whys and the wherefores of why that system works. And it was the same thing as strikerless football as well, because again that was a big old thing. I think it's Guido Merry Guido on Twitter. He's a big advocate of strikerless football, but again, he breaks it down as to exactly why it works. It's not just a case of, oh, this is something that the match engine doesn't know how to deal with. You're going to score loads of goals. This is why strikerless football works. Back in the day, I know Matt loved it back in the early days of FMT with Matt and Tony. Matt was really, really big into it. And again, he'd break it down and analyse not only that it works and it can win you championships, especially with clubs that you might not have the strongest team in the league, but these systems will give you a fighting chance. Also, why it worked. And I think if you're going to invest the time into the why, that's fair enough. But if you treat it the same as a bit of plug in and play, download the super tactic off the internet, I would rank it a bit higher. But I think I like where you've landed, and I respect the 9. Right, 5th one. Here we go. Just as a reminder, lads, you've got the 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9 spaces left. So opposite ends of the spectrum. Now, I've written down here first name, last name, otherwise known back in the day as just adding additional managers to maybe invest a little bit of money into your squads. I've got a 33-year-old left back who's not kicked a ball for 2 years. Man City want to spend £90 million on him. That's really exciting. Who saw that coming? Because that was back in the day. That was the default when you loaded up FM for the first time and started a new save. First name, last name is what was included in the text boxes when you're creating a manager. How do we feel about that, fellas? The addition of extra managers to support your club financially.
So, I have a confession to make. No.
Every save.
That is actually something I did on very, very old versions of the game. I think even on my first episode with you, Rich, where we spoke about it, like playing Championship Manager. I remember very vividly on an old Champman, I was maybe 12, 13, managing Man United and Celtic. And I wanted to make both of those teams the greatest teams in the world. Just make them like a combination of all my favorite players of both teams. So I would do that. I would just be like, oh, let's go and get Zidane from Juventus. Cool, let's get him in. Let's go and get, whoever. And just made both of them absolutely stacked. Because that's what 12-year-old me wanted to do in the game. That was like this. That would be a really cool way to play it. Now I think I would. No part of me would do this. You couldn't pay me, I don't think, to do this within a context of a save. Because again, this is one of those things that I think, like you said, Stakey, it's one of those cheats that if you do it, the game's over. The game is over. You have, like, if you can't get a bit, like, even on this, like, the thing I'm finding on this save is that I'm actually just like, if we're selling a player, whatever he costs, I don't care. If I want someone gone, he goes for the price he is, you deal with it. Because that was what happens. It's not a case of like, oh yeah, cool, my right back's, like you say, you got a 33-year-old left back who doesn't play anymore. Can I get 100 million from him? Probably not. Might get 5 if you're lucky, and thanks very much, I'll take that 5 and I'll buy a couple of players with that maybe. But yeah, no, this, I think if someone was doing this, and then I think again we speak of caveats, I think if someone was doing this and then spoke about how well their save had gone, like if someone did that like openly, let's say like, you were streaming and someone came into your stream, Rich, and they said, oh yeah, I added extra managers and I gave myself all of Real Madrid's, PSG's, Man City's and whoever's money to Preston, and I used it to sign a bunch of wonder kids and I won the Champions League in 3 years. There'd be part of me that would just go, so you didn't win the Champions League then, you cheated. This isn't a good save. This is a bad save. You've made an error. This is a problem. You should do something else. Because this game isn't for you. Go play FIFA. Go play FIFA. You'll have a much funner time.
Yeah. It'd be ridiculous if you sat there and spouted on about a save, I don't know, an FM24 save that you went 30 seasons in and won loads of stuff with Portsmouth, and actually you'd added a manager at some point in that save, wouldn't it? If someone came and confessed that to you, Dan, you'd obviously really disrespect them and find that really ridiculous.
Are you about to... I know that you've not done this. I know that you've not done this. Surely.
And I have. On that save.
You added a manager.
On that save. I will explain why. Firstly, the caveat was that it was for financial gain. There was no financial gain in this thing that I did. So about 10 seasons into the save that I rattle on about all the time, I had the England job. And the England job was going very well. I won the Euros with England, and then crashed out of the World Cup in the quarterfinals or something like that. And they sacked me for it. And I was like, oh, I think that was quite a harsh sacking. Maybe I'll apply for the England job at another point and try and get it. 20 years pass in game. Every single time the England job has come up, I have applied for it. I have been rejected from it every single time in favour of a manager I have never heard of, almost every single time exclusively. It's not like they've appointed Jose Mourinho instead, or Tuchel, or something like that. They're appointing the Championship Luton manager, or something like that, a couple of times. And in the 30th season, they changed managers again, and I applied for it, and I was like, this is ridiculous that I've not been given the managerial job up to this point. And they gave it to I want to say they were a League One manager. They were really low down, and it had just been that England had kind of gone through managers really, really quickly over time. Like a year at a time or so, you know, every time there was a tournament or a Nations League, they sacked managers for losing the Nations League. It was that kind of level. And I was like, you know what? I want to be the man. This is probably, we're getting really close to FM 26 now. This is probably my last chance to be the England manager at the World Cup. So I added a manager and kicked that guy out of the job and applied for it immediately. I still didn't get the job. And I was so annoyed. And at this point, 10 years previously, I've taken the Brazil job and won the Copa America to be like, maybe I don't have enough international experience. Maybe that's why they won't appoint me. And I've tried lots of things to get the England job. I've won 14 Premier Leagues in a row, and they're not giving me the job. And I am saying in the media that I want it, and I'm applying for it, and it's just they're not giving me the job. And they still didn't give me the job. So I went and managed Ghana, and I won the World Cup with Ghana instead. Just because I was just like so angry. So I did add a manager on that save, and I feel better for confessing it and knowing that I've lost all of your respect. I'm
surprisingly absolutely fine with.
Yeah, that's what's weirdly okay.
Because you didn't cheat to give yourself your team loads of money.
Yes.
Because and again, international management, whatever, like fine.
Yeah.
But if you said, oh yeah, well I was really struggling to get rid of my third choice goalkeeper, so I added Bayern Munich and gave myself all of their money, then I would have lost a lot of respect. Yeah. But yeah, whatever. Like that's
slightly
fine.
Different circumstances.
Very different circumstance. I thought you were about to be like,
no, not at all.
Oh, yeah, no, I cheated my whole way through it.
Yeah.
And even then, save. I must admit, I've only played 20 matches after that, and I lost interest in it a little bit. Partly because a new game came around. But yeah a little tiny cheat that didn't work anyway. And it was just a line that I crossed. But I think if you do use it for the more heinous crime of bolstering your team, or even just, I don't like Pep Guardiola, I'm going to kick him out. Just so that you can have an easier job playing Man City. I still think that's pretty high up there. I don't think I can put it 1 for me.
It's not a 1.
So therefore it's a 4, right?
I think it's a 4.
Yeah.
I think first name, last name should be in 4. If used.
We did specify financial gain. I just
Sure.
thought I'd add that story for
I think
comedic
that's
effect
fair.
almost.
Yeah.
And to confess, because I do feel better.
I also think, Stakey, that just winning a World Cup with Ghana out of spite is
so much cooler.
Good.
It's so much cooler than winning it with England.
I think I beat England as well.
Good.
In the build-up, just to be like, screw you. I know that Ireland got to the semi-finals. That was my semi-final game.
Yeah.
Sure. It was a really easy run as well. Like, all of the teams I came up against were really easy. And then just England. It was such a weird... I was live with Callum while doing it. Callum was... I was in the Discord with Callum. And I was just like... Callum, I've somehow got to the semi-finals of the World Cup with Ghana. And he was just like, what? So we watched the 2 games and I beat Ireland, and then I want to say Italy in the final or something. But yeah, weird.
Sensational stuff. We're halfway through, fellas. We're halfway through. Number 6. I've got, again, it's something that it's a slightly newer feature, I suppose, but it's been around for a while. But you see a lot more of it these days in Football Manager. I've got here number 6. Excessive / unpayable future fees, or just buying players on Klarna. Just all of the future fees, all of the, yes, you can have £70 million when you win a Champions League, but I'm signing you for a club in League Two. All the little fiddles and manipulations that you can put in during the negotiations of a fee for a player. How are we feeling about that, lads?
The dark arts of the bid.
See, I think this one isn't that bad.
No,
Personally,
I'm fine with it.
Personally, I think there's an element of the game does contract
Yeah.
a little bit, like they're not going to accept a Champions League when you're in League Two most of the time, for example, unless they're a really ambitious player. There was the exploit where you could buy any player for £2.1 million if you did that.
Yep.
Then that changes it a little bit for me, because that is
David
then
and I did a stream
exploit.
together where we were like, we're literally just doing that exploit. we are admitting we are doing the exploit. We're seeing how stupid the team we can put together is, and what can we win, and how messed up can our tactic be.
Hilarious. Excellent stream idea.
Yeah.
Very funny. But if you sat there and did that on your own save and then posted on Twitter how amazing your save is because you've bought Mbappe for £2.1 million for, Swansea, then I'm less impressed, certainly. But I think there's an element of negotiation that would happen in real life to a certain extent. A Team of the Year bonus for a player that plays for Leeds United is probably a good tactic that a well-negotiated agent would probably not want in their contract, for example. But the other way, you're going to want that in their contract. So I think there's an element of wheeler-dealering, a bit of Harry Redknapp in there, If you score 20 goals, you Kubu, then I'll give you 20 grand of my own money, and I'm going to substitute you off when you're on 19. That's that kind of thing. And I think that's mostly okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many little things within bidding, right? I mean, I think nearly everyone I know in FM has used the Never Never. Nearly all of us have been down the route of, all right, I need to improve this team somehow. I've got 10 million in the bank account, but this guy's 30 million. I'll give you 10 now and 20 over the next couple of years. Yeah, is that all right? Yeah, cool. Because that does kind of happen with bids. It does get sort of filtered over, so a club doesn't just go money and gone. Those finer things, I remember years ago on an FM, you could do. There was an approach to loaning where you could loan basically any player if you put as a future fee £1 billion. Every single club would accept, and the loan player would always agree. For some reason, it worked. I remember there was definitely a point where I did the save. I think it might have been FM 14 or 15. I vividly remember managing West Brom and having Neymar. Vividly remember having Neymar and being like, Chris, you're going to play left back now, mate. Neymar's it. You go and sit over there. Watch how it's done. Yeah.
Sorry, Brunty, mate.
Sorry, fella. Yeah. I love you.
But you're also going to mentor him. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to teach him how the West Brom way is, and he's going to show you how to do a flip flap. Everybody wins. Yeah. I mean, transfer contract exploits. Fine. Like that doesn't offend me, especially if you know that. And like you say, like those sorts of things where you put in like, all right, well, we'll give you as a transfer bid, like, well, if we get promoted, we'll give you 5 million if we get promoted to the Premier League. It's like, Well, you are still planning on getting promoted to the Premier League, so it does make sense.
Yeah.
And also, like, a relegation release clauses get put in a lot of contracts. Makes sense. Like, players might be like, well, we're going to probably get relegated, so if we do get relegated, I'd like to leave. And it's like, yeah, valid. If that's the case, then cool. I'll give you this much money if you win a Ballon d'Or then. But I'm only going to give you $5,000 a week instead of $45,000 a week, and you're going to be fine with it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely an element of negotiation about it. Like, so for example, on the main save that I blab on about, I had a really strict, wage policy, and admittedly, when you've won a load of Premier Leagues, £200,000 a week wage cap doesn't seem like a lot, but your Real Madrid, your Barcelonas, your Saudi leagues are all offering £500,000 a week, so it makes it very difficult to pull in an already existing big name. You have to move and rank them up towards that 200. But I kept refusing to have that 200, and that meant I had to be more creative with the clauses. So I did a kind of the better you play, the better money you're going to get. So my strikers would always have goal bonuses, and I would do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. My midfielders would have assist bonuses. My wing backs would have assist bonuses. My goalkeeper would have a clean sheet bonus that's quite impressive if they did well. And I think that I'm hoping that FM has built that into the game, and that's one of the reasons why I did quite well, because I'm hoping that they were incentivized
for it.
Hopefully, probably not, and I probably just built a very good team, but I like to think that it was about incentives.
I can
and I
definitely
motivated
say.
them.
I can definitely say with confidence that the start of season incentives of like low, medium, high, they affect your team.
Yes. Yes.
They really do.
Yeah, so it must have a little effect then, you would think, certainly morale-wise. So I think that's a negotiation tactic. I'm put in for this to be quite low, personally, but there is definitely situations where the never, and equally, the never can ruin your team. If you're doing a one-club save and you're using the never, that's to your detriment later on. You will have debt, you will struggle, you might get points deductions, you won't be able to sign anyone. So if you want to risk that on maybe there's 3 seasons where you're not going to win the league and you're not going to win the Champions League, and you start to decline a little bit in that prize money and those attendances drop, and suddenly you're struggling in a different way, that's your fault. So if you want to use it, then it's going to come to bite you anyway. So I'm leaning 8, maybe 10 here.
I'd say let's go 8.
Yep.
Just on the off chance, because I think these ones are all going to be much the same. These lower ones, I think you can almost split this into like 3 sections. Can you? Like the do not do these. It's all right, and then who cares? This is very much like who cares territory. So yeah, like transfer voodoo, I'm fine with.
I do, however, respect anyone that deliberately doesn't use it. I respect
Yes.
you more. So it's less about detriment to those that do and more about praise on those that don't, for me on this.
That's fair enough. I think that's reasonable. My name is Rich Owens, and I insert a £0 relegation release clause into all of my final players' contracts because it just helps a little bit.
Yeah, done that.
Yeah,
It's a good one.
That's okay.
50% sell-on fee as well.
Yeah.
Definitely helps bring those wages down just a little bit. And if it's the release clause and the sell-on fee, you've got
Boom.
them.
They're paying me to play. It's incredible. No, I've got no issue with where that has landed at all. I think that's absolutely fine. Right, next one on the list. I've got that written down here. 3 words: saving and reloading.
I don't even think we need to discuss this. This is number 1.
Yeah.
This is number 1.
Yeah.
I'm going to say one thing on it. If you constantly reload the game, trying to get a win and cheat at things, and again, unless it's for an experiment reason, unless the game, like if you were winning 5-0 and then the game crashed in the 87th minute and you're like, well, I won the game. Yeah. They're the only exceptions. If you just try to do a season like this, doesn't count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So me and Spoos had the agreement that if the game crashed or one of us left the game, then we would replay the game and the results would have to be the same. So
Yes.
we generate it until
Yeah.
it was the same results, and then we'd carry on as normal and save a bit more regularly because we've had an error. I think if the game breaks, that's not your fault. Do whatever you need to get back to that stage. If you are, however, progressing the game, simming the match until you win it, and then moving on to the next one, that is save scumming. What is the point you playing the game at this point?
Yeah,
You might as well be on holiday, and your assistant manager will probably do it better than you anyway. So
There you go. Yeah.
number one.
Shocking that. Who saw that coming? Apart from everybody. Yeah, it just stinks, doesn't it? It's no fun. It's no fun. And it's effective because of course it is. But, if you just give somebody infinite, if you say to somebody, roll these 2 dice and you have to roll a 12, but you've got infinite dice rolls to do it, it's going to happen eventually. D has got dice.
I mean, I'm going to roll a dice.
It's
Get-
a 12.
I swear to God, I have not done anything. You just asked me to roll a 12. I have not done anything. I'm taking a photo of it.
No way.
And I'm holding my phone up to the camera with a number 12.
Magical.
Right,
Magical.
Stakey.
What do I
Prepare the
win?
ducking stool. I think D's a witch.
He's a witch.
Not
And
a
what are this
witch.
week's lottery
I'm
numbers?
a sorcerer, actually.
There you go. Yeah, it's rubbish, isn't it? I did an experiment years ago. I think FM 21 maybe, and I save scummed 100 games back to back, like the same fixture, with I think it was like Werder Bremen and Bayern Munich, and just to see what the outcomes were going to be 100 times, but 100 times as Bayern manager and 100 times as Werder Bremen manager. And I don't think Bayern lost one fixture when I was in charge. But then when I was Werder Bremen manager, it was kind of like a 20, 30, 50 split in terms of like wins, draws and losses. But if you need to win a fixture by a certain scoreline, or you need you can do it as much as you want to. But again, it's Stakey's diamond pickaxe. It just completely cheapens everything that you've accomplished. Like you've not accomplished anything. You've just reloaded the game until you got the result you wanted.
Yeah. It's a little
Bit
bit like
rubbish,
YouTube
really.
trick shots, isn't it? Like these days, back in the day, you got a short video that was maybe a minute long, and there'd be 3 amazing basketball shots, and you saw nothing else. These days, the pride is in the throwing it 400 times off of a cliff so that it goes through the basketball hoop, and I find that really boring. I don't know about other people. I don't find the trick impressive because you've just played the law of odds, and you've just rolled a 12 on your dice by using
time.
infinite dice.
First time.
First time, baby.
First time, baby. So,
It's an experienced
dice-
dice roller right there.
One roll
trick
down.
shots.
That's what they call it.
Dice trick shots.
Exactly. There, he got it through. You can't see it on the camera, but there's a tiny basketball hoop on his desk.
I did have a little bin that they went into if they were bad dice. Because you sometimes, like if the dice rolls don't go in your way, pop it in little dice prison. That's where it stays until it's learned its lesson, until it rolls you in at 20, and then you gold them.
Okay, makes sense. Makes complete sense. Lovely stuff. Right. Number 8. We've only got 3 left, and we have the 5, 7, and 10 spots left on your on your scale. Number 8, I've got only playing the game, managing the biggest teams in the game. So if you're managing in the Premier League, you manage Manchester City. If you're managing in Spain, you manage Real Madrid or Barcelona, PSG in France, and you do that across the world. And you don't drop down a division. You don't manage another club within the top divisions. You'll only play the game if you can manage the best of the best of the best. How do we feel about that, fellas?
Yeah, this one's pretty easy for me, I think. I don't think there's any problem with this at all if that's the way you enjoy playing the game. If you enjoy taking over a club that's got millions of pounds and spending it in the transfer market, that might be something that you enjoy. You just like building teams, for example, so you build Manchester City Galacticos, then fair enough. I personally don't enjoy the game that way. I enjoy building teams up, and most of the time I enjoy just picking Portsmouth every time, which I suppose is equally a little bit of a faux pas, just picking your favourite team all the time. So I'm leaning towards this one being 10 if it's how you enjoy to play the game.
Yeah, literally said the exact same thing on stream earlier. I said, it's amazing the sort of range you get in game players for this. You get some people who want to start in the Vanarama South, or the Enterprise South, Enterprise North or South now, and you want to climb up through the divisions and go on a slog. It takes you 20 seasons, but you finally get to the Prem, and then you work really hard. 30 seasons in, you finally get that Premier League. And some people want to play 3 seasons as Man City, win the Champions League, and then they never touch it again. And you've said it before as well, Rich. If you have fun either way, not hurting anyone, as long as you're not cheating, as long as you're not doing anything that takes away your success from you, as long as you've earned that and you can stand up and or even if you have cheated, you at least will go, yeah, I cheated, and you're open about it. But I'm more than content with this being at 10. Like, who cares who you manage? Like, as long as you have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the key thing, isn't it? And you're not exploiting the game by any means. You can still completely fail with Manchester City, don't get me wrong. You definitely can. If you muck up the tactics, if you muck up the transfers, you muck up the finances, you can definitely fail with these teams, and you won't fail upwards, you'll fail downwards.
Yeah.
So
some people do it purposely on stream, Tom from Tarn, who intentionally tries to gaslight the entire team and makes them all sort of become like they've all got Stockholm syndrome with him, and tries to do well. It was a great save. I loved watching it. It was wicked. So yeah,
love that.
I agree with 10.
Yeah,
number
I
10.
love that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I agree with you both. This is the epitome of kind of what we said at the start of the pod. There is no right or wrong way of playing the game, and if you are enjoying your Football Manager experience, and if you are enjoying that by managing Barcelona or Manchester City, winning everything and then just dusting off your hands and going, yeah, that's me done for another year. I'll see you in November, FM 27. Cracking, live your life, enjoy it. If that's how you enjoy playing Football Manager, play Football Manager that way. Good for you. We have 2 left, fellas. 2 left. You've got the 7 and the 5 spots remaining. Number 9. This is one that it's a point of contention for a lot of people. Number 9, playing the game without attribute masking. How do we feel about that?
Oh, I'll let you go first, Stakey.
Again,
before we go into this, actually, let's just put the question towards each other. Mm-hmm. Do you play with attribute masking? That's the question I would ask.
On a stream save, yes. On a offline save, probably not. Especially not in a network save offline, because it slows things down, so it allows you to play the game faster.
Mm-hmm.
I do the opposite. Offline, I turn them off, so then I scout them and I earn the player. On stream, I leave them on purely because I have a lookup. And if someone says, oh, I'm a really big fan of Miles Lewis Skelly, show me what he looks like. Sure, we can go and have a look at his attributes. Yeah, this is what he looks like, 12 years into the game. This is what he might look like in yours as well in 12 seasons. Yeah. Obviously, it saves me time with scouting, and I would also maybe make an argument, seeing as I'm doing a journeyman and I've got to move around a little bit. Kind of don't mind if it saves me a little bit of time. If I was one club in it, maybe I would, I would mask the attributes, but if we play it, we do it the other way around. But ultimately, we both do both experiences.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Santa Clara was attribute masked, as was my previous online save, whereas Pompey wasn't.
Yeah.
So
for me, this is, out of the 2 options, I feel like it's 7. It's not that egregious. Like, some people would say, no, you play with the attribute masking. If you're scouting someone, you don't know what they look like. I would throw that in a little bit of, who cares? Like, I'm not a professional scout. I know how good Bukayo Saka is.
Yeah.
I don't need someone to go, here's a sheet of his stats and attributes. I'd be like, if I had the money and I was managing, if West Brom had the money and they said, Dan, who do you want to sign? Well, Bukayo Saka would probably be a good option amongst many others, but Yeah, I'm kind of fine with it.
Yeah, I think for me, this is where we might have put a couple of them a little bit too harsh.
Maybe.
Up and a little bit too far down. I would personally want this at 9 or 8, but we've got 7 free, and I'm absolutely fine with 7. Again, it's one of those where you praise the people that do the attribute masking. Your save is more impressive than mine because you have attribute masked and done extra scouting. Well played. More for you. I guarantee it's taken you a lot longer to do your save. But people that don't use it, your save is equally impressive. It's just, extra double thumbs up for them, extra gold star.
Thumbs everywhere. Thumbs everywhere. I had to debate Tony on that when I did when I was a guest on the WFM show last month. There was a debate round, and I had to debate Tony. I had to be pro. Tony was pro attribute masking. I was anti. And I think, again, I can understand both of your points of view on this one. I think within the context of a network save, it might slow it down a little bit more because, as you say, time can always be a factor in these circumstances. I enjoy my stream save with them on at the moment, and I will only say that because the players that I have rolled the metaphorical dice on so far on my save this year, everything's come at Millhouse, and it's been a really, really nice surprise. Big Francolino, he wasn't fully scouted when we brought him in, and when he arrived and I saw his attributes, I just went, hooray! He's really good at football. This is amazing. This is what I wanted. But because all of his attributes, when I could see them, they were either going to be really, really good or a little bit pants. So I like that. I like the surprises, and I will continue to feel that way until the opposite happens, and I take a punt on somebody and they're a bit rubbish, and then I'll hate it and I'll never want to use it again. Yeah, I think if time is a factor, and I think that was the basis of my argument with Tony, is that if time is a factor, then if you can sit down and play FM for 2 or 3 hours, and you don't have to spend half of that time waiting for scout reports to come in, and you're not going to progress your game as much, which then may make you not want to play the game as much. Fair enough, But again, for me, I think it's one of those things. Each to their own. Live your life however you want to live it, and play the game however you want to play it. There's one spot left, fellas. There is one spot left, and it's
really
interesting.
It's that you've saved the worst thing until last.
Yeah, definitely.
What I've actually done, fellas. What I've actually done.
You've duped us.
I've duped nobody. Uncharacteristically, very uncharacteristically for me, I've put this one last in the list because I knew that there would be a default position for it because it would be the last one we discussed. Lads, it's also a little bit of a segue into discussing something else. I know, a planned segue. Because the last thing I've got here on the list, it might seem like it's oddly specific, fellas. I've written down transfer market manipulation in a network save. So, for example,
I know where
somebody that isn't here this evening constantly bidding £300 million on players that his friends may have been interested in a network save last year. I mean, who does that? Jeb. It's Jeb that does that. It's Jeb that does it all the time. Jeb does it, and it really upset me. You've upset your friend, Jeb, and I hope you're happy. I think I'm very disappointed that the number one spot wasn't available at this stage.
Can I say, from a viewing standpoint, terrific content.
Funny.
When I remember this was obviously pre-Stakey and I joining. I like watching that and you being like trying to make a bid for like Jude Bellingham on the sly and be really quiet about it. But then of course everybody gets an email saying
everyone
Man
knows.
United have bid 120 million on Jude Bellingham, and immediately on Jeb's stream you just see like a naughty school kid just bid.
Yeah.
You're just like, why are you doing this to me?
Oh, atrocious. I'm still not over it, fellas. But you've got it at number 5, so you think it's middle of the road deviancy. So I'd be inclined to agree.
I think it's funny. Yeah. The thing is, again, I've not been on the receiving end of it. If it like when we joined the save, if I was trying to sign people for Newcastle and then all of a sudden you were like blocking me out of transfers, I would have been like, well, this is cruel. Why are you doing this? Stop bullying me. But then seeing somebody else do it to someone else is hilarious. So I'm fine with 5 for that.
Yeah, I think I'd probably have it a little bit lower, but we don't have that luxury at this point, unfortunately.
We're down at 10. It's like, yeah, this is great content.
I don't think it's more heinous than instant resulting. It's definitely not.
Well, apparently, Stakey, you do. I've got the data. No, that's yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it? I think, even though I was on the receiving end of it a lot, I agree with you, D. It was actually very funny, and
Great.
it is what it is. Look, it's part of it's a multiplayer PvP gaming experience, and it's like being angry getting hit with a blue shell in Mario Kart. It's like, well, it's because you're winning. It's because you're obviously doing really, really well, and people are trying to slow you down, which is the way I'm choosing to think about it now in hindsight, rather than being furious about it at the time. If anything, I was just too good.
Tried doing that to me, though, isn't it?
Didn't have the money.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, Jeremy Cash. So there you go. It's one of those things. So I'll run us through the list, and then, like I say, we'll pick up on number 5 afterwards. So in terms of FM Faux Pas, the biggest faux pas you guys could imagine was only managing the bigger teams in the game. At number 9, you've got match engine exploitation. In at number 8, excessive feature fees / Klarna / the contract dark arts. Number 7, playing without attribute masking on. Number 6, holidaying or instant resulting your fixtures instead of playing them. Number 5, transfer market manipulation, specifically in network saves. Number 4, you've gone for first name, last name, financial gain from adding additional managers. Downloading tactics in at number 3, in at number 2, the in-game editor, and then the worst thing you can possibly do in FM, according to D-Boy Plays and Stakey Bakety, is saving and reloading. Furious.
I did a mime for each of them to represent how annoyed they would make me.
It was beautiful. It was art. We should
Always
probably
good to
talk
have
about
a mime on a podcast, isn't it?
It's always good.
Fun.
It's always, as long as one of us
wearing
is
the shirt.
talking.
This works.
It's incredible.
Ah!
You are.
Oh my god, he's trapped in a box.
He's escaping.
This is all right.
He's out. Goodness, I was terrified then. Number 5, transfer market manipulation in a network save. We should probably start a new network save, shouldn't we, lads? Feels like it's time. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, shall we start a new network save? If you're listening to this publicly on Tuesday, the 3rd of February, probably the Monday after. Does that seem reasonable to the two of you? And I'm also assuming Jeb.
Sounds good to me.
I'm up for it.
Shall we do it?
I think it sounds lovely.
I think it sounds like a good bit of fun. I've said that out loud now, and I'm about to contradict myself. Shall we manage our teams in the championship in real life?
No. No, let's not manage our teams in the championship. Can we manage the big teams, please?
Can we do anything but that? Because, oh my goodness gracious me.
We'll manage our teams, right? Jeb doesn't understand what we're going through, right?
No.
He might do slightly with his connections with Morecambe and Sheffield United, but he doesn't know the problems that we're going through.
No.
All three of us realistically could be in League One next year.
There is a strong...
I think, right, that if we do, we do our network save where we manage all our teams. Jeb could do what he wants really in that save. I think we've agreed he'll do Sheffield United, but realistically, whatever team he wants. And we show those clubs how it's done.
Yeah.
And at the end of the first season, we'll send them a CV with our tactics all printed out nice and lovely and say to them, this is what you should have done. Can we have jobs, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how we get in at the football teams. That's how it works.
And then I'll become the first championship football manager to release music.
Yes, you will.
What?
Yes, you will.
I think that might have happened before. I don't know.
Wait, has Glenn Hoddle ever managed at championship level?
Oh, okay. I can't imagine Glenn stooping so low. He's far too busy.
Hoddle in the championship? Are you mental? Yeah, I think we should do that. I think it's all going to be okay. I think we can keep all of our teams
We're
up.
here to help you through it.
Yeah, and when I can't, look, I'll be honest with you, it didn't help today that shout out former podcast guest, friend of the podcast, Tom FM, has released a lovely video today on YouTube. Basically, he's taken over Sheffield Wednesday, but he did it halfway through the season, and he got relegated season 1. However, the AI, because I do like to keep a little lookout across my other saves, I've not seen them go down in season 1 yet when they're managed by the AI. So
I've in Erelax's universe. Never mind maybe trying to win a League One title. How does an Enterprise North feel?
Yeah, I'm aware of this, but also in Erelax's universe, Luka Toplic isn't very good at football, so
Broken so far, did it?
corrupted save Wednesday in the. And again, I will always call it the Vanarama, despite it no longer being Wednesday in the Enterprise. No. Luka Toplic not very good at football. No.
Does make it sound a bit Trekky, doesn't it?
It does. It does a little bit. It does a little bit. So I think we should start. We'll start it next week, and we'll manipulate reality, and we'll all do really, really well in the championship.
Yeah.
Maybe.
We'll do fine.
We'll see what happens. Tell you what, I will enjoy though. Barry's still there.
Yeah.
he's still
And
there,
he's
isn't he?
never going to leave.
He's never going to leave. Not in my universe, he isn't.
Unless,
lovely stuff. Yeah.
Retires
Unless
first week.
anybody places any bids for him.
£300 million.
Well, you know what? You can have him for £250. Oh, there you go. That's
£2.50.
What
Excellent.
a bargain. That's
Excellent.
incredibly kind of you.
He said it now.
100 million.
happen.
There we go. That's the. Sorry, something stuck in my throat there. It happens whenever I say large numbers. There we go. So we'll start that next week. How exciting! I'm very excited. I'm very excited
keen.
about it.
I've been holding off managing West Brom since the game came out, waiting for this save. And I've the last couple of weeks, in real life results, I've really wanted to get to get my hands in there and sell everyone just to make myself feel better.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to try and keep everybody, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do if we get relegated. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But come and hang out with us next Monday evening. It will be streamed. People will be streaming it. You can come and hang out with us as we all get together and play, set up our seasons, and have a joyous time. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you're all as excited as I am. But I'm pretty excited. It's going to be very, very good. Happy days. Beautiful. Fellas, that feels very much to me like a podcast. I don't know about the two of you, but it felt quite podsy.
It felt very poddy. It felt very poddy. The only thing I was going to say to add on, just as a last little thing, obviously, people doing the FMT one season save challenge thing.
Yes.
If you've attempted King Kazu's Dynasty, well done. Proud of you. We know that Hluthi absolutely smashed it, but as a little reminder, the new one will be up on Tuesday for February, which is called There's a Stjarnan Waiting in the Sky, where you will manage Stjarnan in the Icelandic League, the shortest month, the shortest league. I repeat my caveats. Will your changes make you heroes, or will you fall under pressure and fail to finish top half? Bonus challenge, sign some young Americans or fickle players, rebels.
It's so good. It's very, very good. It's very, very good.
Definitely am going to attempt this one.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely. Bit of Icelandic football. What's not to like? There we go. Will there be, similarly to King Kazu's Dynasty, will there be a save file in the Discord?
Yes, I will set up a save file. I will do the same thing that I did with the last one. I will obviously, you have to make a manager to make the save sort of happen. You just have to add your own manager, and add yourself at Stianan and have a great time.
Easy peasy. There you go. So if you're not on the Discord, get in the Discord. There's a link to it in the description of this video, of this podcast. YouTube, Spotify, however you're listening, watching, it's there. Click on it and come hang out with us.
And if you attempt the save, Rich, I've saved you a little bit of work adding a manager. Because I made you the manager for these saves.
Hey, cheers, pal. Appreciate that.
Guess your height.
It's not very big, is it, D?
No.
Am I at least? Have I made it to 5 feet?
Yeah. Yeah, I've not been. You're 5'6".
Thanks. Good. Well, I, 6 feet tall adult Rich Owens, am about to do the outro.
Sure.
Because I'm massive. Right, before we wrap things up, Stakey, if people wanted to find you somewhere online, where could they do so?
Twitch.tv/the_steak_bake and at the stay bake on everything else. And please also check out Jebbaroo as well. Twitch.tv/Jebbaroo and all of his various other socials as well.
Lovely stuff. D-Balls, what about you, darling? Where can people find you on the internet?
They can find me over at twitch.tv/dboyplays, DWBOI plays, same on everything, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify, and wherever you get your music from, if you want to listen to the songs I'm releasing.
Mm-hmm. You should listen to those things. I'm gonna say a word, lads. Nuzlocke. Is this a thing that started again recently with former FMT host Y. Callum?
It is indeed. On Thursday nights, we will be nuzlocking from 8 p.m.-ish till 11 p.m.-ish, about that time on Dan and Callum's channels. So jump on those two and check them out. We would much appreciate it. It would be lovely to see you there if you like Pokemon. If you don't, I understand this is a Football Manager podcast. I'm not surprised. Stay.
A lot of crossover, I'd imagine. No, none whatsoever. None whatsoever. Two very, very different groups of people.
Iargo, Pikachu, and that's about it.
That's good, though. That's good.
And that. Giovanni.
Of course.
Yes. Is it Hull Giovanni, or is it Man City Giovanni? Because one's easier to beat.
Well, it's Team Rocket Giovanni.
So Man City.
Oh. Yeah. There it is.
Rich, where can people find you?
Doing crime with Man City, because I just love committing crimes. Twitch.tv/Rich Owens FM. Be playing some FM this week. It's going to be nice. I'm looking forward to it. Fellas, thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening and indulging my little game again. You're good people. I love you both. And thank you, the audience, for listening, for watching. However you are consuming the podcast, you're great, and we really like you. Please come back next week for another episode of Football Manager Therapy. But until then, take care. Love you lots. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, it's me, Cupby. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I tried for a little while. Hey, you know Cupburger. It's a mutual aid fund created by us for us to take care of our needs. Folks have been applying for grants, getting paid out. Folks have been donating, giving us money every month. We're so grateful. This has been really cool work, and we've met a lot of need already. However, there are some projects that we've been wanting to address that are above our monthly cap allowance. So we've created special projects. And we're launching special projects. If you have a need that is more than our monthly allowance, get in touch. Admins will get in touch with you. We can help you set up a GoFundMe, and Cupburger will be paying out up to 50%. So these are just burgers that look like... Anyway, don't get distracted. Up to 50% of our income every month will be paid out to special projects who we have partnered with until those projects' needs are met. Meaning, you may see new chat commands in chat that tell you to go direct to a GoFundMe if you want to give someone money. That's because they're a Cupburger partner, and Cupburger is working with them to fulfill their crowdsourcing needs. Special projects, now a part of Cupburger. Give money. Apply. Cupburger. Have a great day. Bye.